Okay, so we are going to look at in chapter 2, the flat hook, which is the 5th exercise at the end of the chapter. So if we look, I'm going to go underneath here. This is the flat hook that we're looking at. Now, we are only going to be drawing the profile here. We are not worrying about, how thick it is, but it just gives you a little, perspective on what it is. So we're gonna just draw this profile here. And as we look, we want to kind of determine where we want to put our 0, 0. And you want to pick that point to be wherever there are, for instance, the most dimensions coming from. Okay. And there may or may not be an obvious 0, 0, but the two that I would either choose from is going to be at the very top here or at the center here. Okay. It's really, as I look at this, I think it could be a personal preference. I am going to start at the very top here. If you started here, if you've already done this one and you've put your 0, 0 somewhere else, no big deal. No big deal. All right. It's not wrong at all, but I'm just going to start there because it just seems like there's more stuff that's going to share that same point. Okay. So that's where I'm going to start. And so I'm going to minimize this. Actually, I'm going to keep it big and I'm going to go back to AutoCAD. Okay, so I'm going to start with a center diameter circle, and I'm going to put it at 0, 0. So 0, 0, enter, and it's going to go down to my little corner there, and I'm going to put in the diameter of 45. 45. Okay, and now here we know it's big, so I'm going to do my zoom, enter, E, enter for extend, so I can get the whole shape on, and then I'm just going to roller and pan to kind of get it there so I can start drawing around it. The next thing I'm going to add is going to be the diameter of, it has a 50 millimeter radius. So I'm going to go up to my circle, and whether you put in circle diameter, circle radius doesn't necessarily really matter. It always usually is going to be what information do you have available. Since this is a center radius, you could always just double that radius and put in a diameter of 100. It doesn't matter because it's still going to construct the same way, but I'll go to center radius. I'm going to hover over the outside of that circle. It's finding the center of that circle because when I am on my running object snap standard over here, I do have center as one of my running object snaps. Okay. If yours isn't doing it, it's probably that. All right. And you can either go over to your object snaps menu or add it to your running object snaps by simply clicking on it. Okay. So it's activating. So I'm going to grab that same center to share the same center, or you could put in 0, 0 because that's the 0, 0. And I'm going to put 50 for my radius. Okay. All right. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my drawing, and you'll notice that there's this little curve here. But this little curve is going to be a tangent radius between this circle and this larger circle. So I'm going to put this larger circle in first, which is a radius of 130. And its center is going to be directly down 180 millimeters down from the center of my smaller circle. So we are going to, I'm going to zoom out and move this up. And I'm going to do another center radius, but now I need to specify the center point. Okay. This center point is going to be offset down 180 millimeters. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put in my coordinates, and 0, 0 was up there. So I can put them in as absolute. I don't have to worry about any relative business. So from the center, I want to go just down. So that means my X left or right is going to be 0. And my Y is going to be a negative 180. So I'm going to be 0, negative 180, enter. And there's the center. Now I've got to put in my radius, which is 130. Okay, there we are. So the next thing I'm going to do before I really start, doing anything else, and kind of, we're going to have to construct some things before we really want to, do some erasing and stuff. So I'm going to put the radius of 62.5 circle on the inside as long as I'm here. I'm going to grab that center, click on the center radius, get to the outside of that diameter, And I want this radius, this is 62.5. Okay. Now let's peek back. We've got a little bit here. So where are we going? So we are going to be putting in a tangent radius circle between these two. And then we're going to be putting a tangent line right there. Okay. So that's going to be the next two things that we do. So I'm going to go over to back to AutoCAD. And I'm going to go up to my circle. I'm going to go down to tangent radius. Click on that. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my first tangent point. So I'm going to put it like right about here-ish on my small circle and right about here on my large circle. And then now I'm going to be putting in the radius of 50. So it put that circle in for me. Right. Now I'm going to add my tangent line from here to here. So this is going to be the line command. But remember, I only want to be tangent. So if I go over here right now, I don't have tangent set on my running object snap. So when I go to the edge of that circle, you can faintly see it's going to try to grab the center of that circle, and that's not what I want. So I want to override anything in my running object snaps, and I'm going to go over to my object snaps menu. I'm going to click on tangent. So now it's only going to look for tangencies, nothing else. So I'm going to go from here, but then remember it goes back to object snaps. It's only for one click. And I'm going to go back to tangent over here, and I'm going to go to the inside circle to get that point. Okay. And then escape or enter to end that line command. How'd that go for everybody? Okay.
What's the radius of that top left circle?
This one?
Yeah.
It was 50.
Okay.
50. Yep. Tangent radius, and then a 50 radius on the circle. You're welcome. All right. Now I want to construct one more thing. Yeah, one more thing, I think. Yeah, one more thing. So I'm going to do an offset line from here, offset down this way. Okay. So let's go back. You'll notice that this line and this line are parallel, and they're at a distance offset. That's a command of 125 in this direction. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to AutoCAD, and this is another modify command. So in the modify area here, we've done a erase, trim, and now we're going to do offset. Offset is down in actually the bottom right-hand corner of that area. Okay, offset. So we're going to click on offset, and offset is going to ask us, what is your offset distance? So we're going to put in that distance is 125, enter. Now it wants to know, what do you want to offset? You want to select the object. That's what it's telling us. Select the object. So I want to offset this. Now this is a single select. So once I hover over it and it highlights, I'm going to click. And then you're going to notice something. I could offset up, or I could offset down. I got to offset down. So just move your cursor. Don't click, move your cursor. Make sure it's on the right side. And once you have it there, now you're going to click to place it. Now you're still in the command because it's going to say, all right, specify another object. So I could keep, don't do this. I could keep offsetting. So I could offset this one here, and keep doing that same thing if I wanted to. I'm not going to. So I'm just going to hit escape, and I'm simply going to erase those two extras. Don't do that. But just that's what it is offering you as an option if you wanted to. All right. But we only wanted to do the one offset. Okay. Now I'm ready to do some trimming. Okay. If you trim too soon, you're going to get rid of too much of stuff. Okay. So now we're going to go up to the trim command, and we're going to start getting rid of stuff. Okay. I'm going to do something really quick. Yeah. Okay. You can click and then go over the top of something. You see how you can go over a part that you don't want by dragging over it and then releasing. That's another way rather than doing the single select. That is new to AutoCAD. Other parametric softwares do that, but that's new to this. It was always like a single select. So you can either singly select by going over the top of it. It gives you a nice preview, or you can drag over the top if you want to. So I'm going to get rid of that one. Get rid of this one. And then if you need to zoom in, use your roller. Get rid of that one, And then I want to get rid of the between here. That end. I want to get rid of that one. And then pan up. So you should have something that looks, anyway, you can hit escape when you're done. Something that looks like this. You guys see it? Any questions? These are good. They really are. All right. Now, the very last thing that we need to do here, we need to put this radius on here. All right. And it's not giving us a center for it or anything like that. And you'll kind of see it says tangent, tangent, radius. You could do, but there's a command that really is the tangent, tangent, radius. It's called a fillet. Okay. So we're going to look at that fillet command because that's going to be another one going forward that you're going to be like, oh, it's so handy. All right. So the fillet command is right below trim. So we're going to click on fillet, and fillet just creates a round at a known radius. So before we do anything on here, we could start, it says select your first object, second object, and that's going to be where we want to put our fillet on, but we need to set the radius first. By default, the radius that AutoCAD sets when you go into a session is 0, meaning it's going to make a square corner, and it comes in handy. All right. But we have to set the radius to be something. So down here, you're going to notice select your first object, or we want to click on or just put R for radius. We want to set the radius, R, enter, oopsie. And we want to set the radius because right now, as you can see in those brackets, it's 0, which would make a sharp corner. We want to have a radius of 25. Okay, so we're going to enter in 25, enter. Now, the next time we do radius, it's going to remember the last radius. So the next time you do a fillet, I should say fillet, it's going to remember the last radius. It would be another 25 unless you change it. So then you would have to rechange it if it's something different. Okay. All right. So now it's set at 25. So I'm going to click on the straight line and the curved line, and there it is. And then you can, it goes out of the command, I think, right away. Yeah. Okay. Now it's done. So you want to save it. I don't even think we saved during this process, did we? So you want to do a save as, and we're going to go to navigate. It should remember, as long as you didn't close AutoCAD. So this is going to be the flat hook. Bless you. Another one done. Okay. So any questions on the flat hook? All right, I'm going to stop recording then.